So I was not expecting to make a video about this game until the campaign released, but it seems I've kind of been forced into doing it because of how the devs are acting recently. So I put a post on the forums for Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts because I was concerned about the game and, what was going on with its development and everything, especially since, its company doesn't have the best track record with naval action and other games. So I was a bit worried, something like that could happen to this game because it's a great game, but I don't want anything bad happening to it. So I put a, forum post up and I went to sleep. To be fair, I just went to sleep straight away after. And when I woke up in the morning, I was checking through my emails and I realised that the forum had been locked and I had been given 3 warning strikes. Take 3 because I got distracted by a notification on here to do with someone reacting to this post. Someone just literally recently liked this post. It was Articuno or something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm really, really bad with names. Anyway, point is, let's get onto this. As I said before, I got 3 warning points, and I can't basically post anything without it being seen, which I don't really care. They can do that. I mean, I've got nothing to hide. I'm just posting about what is going on with them. And, right, so on here I basically highlight what I feel is the problem, and really they should take it in and, take the advice that I've given them and possibly consider actually listening. But they didn't do that. They basically went on an attack, in a way, back at me, because, I don't know, they basically just did. And they're just saying that I posted false information, which, I mean, Naval Art, okay, it's not completely abandoned, but the community feels like it is. And I've had a look at these logs that they've showed me here, right? Yeah? Now, if you actually read through the logs they've showed, this just looks like normal, server stuff. As in, automatic server, maintenance shit and, everything. Because, clean open world, clean open world, clean open world, clean open world, dirty, clean open world, clean... This just looks like fucking, stuff that they would do normally. But it isn't. Well, it is. I mean... It isn't what they're saying it is, patches or whatever. And even patches, that's not proper content updates. That's not taking care of the game. So I don't know what they're talking about when it's not abandoned, at least. And these aren't patches which you were showing me, right? Definitely not. These are server logs or something of the sort, because otherwise why would you have something like clean open world? That's just server maintenance, which is probably auto-programmed into it. So, I mean, wow, you have a maintenance system. So, yeah. This is a farm thing. I'm going to have to check those notifications in a bit. But all this is just basically patch notes. And I mean, yes, patches. But I mean, patches. They're not proper... things for the community of Naval Art, fixing things properly. Patches is where you're just fixing bugs. Naval Art needs more than just fixing bugs. It needs its community fixed up because you haven't listened to them properly. It needs, actual parts of the game fixed because they just don't work well. But, I mean, you can hide behind patches and say you're doing everything, but we both know you're not. And this is what I was going to get into. I find it very, very suspicious, especially that this guy is labelled as a member, yeah, but has the permissions to add warning points to me. It looks like they've got, an account which is meant to be, undercover or secretive that, is able to do this. And, right, you see that Spy Brig? I will refresh this. And you already saw me come on this multiple times. It's him, yeah? It's Brig at Sea, the same person who I was just looking at. there's no way to edit this just in case they say that, because I feel like they're gonna fucking make up some excuse. I'm sorry for the language. I'm just a bit annoyed with how they've been acting recently. But yeah, I just don't feel like they are looking after the community properly. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. Right, as you can see here, I commented about, like, you know, them taking down the farm and hiding things and everything, you know, in a message to the Brig at Sea guy. And if you read through this, you know, you can see it's just me saying he's covering up the truth, trying to protect themselves, and blah blah blah. No one really cares. I mean, if you do care, then just pause the video, read through it, and then basically he's just saying that the forms is locked, which wasn't the point that I was trying to get across. It was that, you know, he shouldn't be locking it, and that basically, like, Naval Action had patches and hotfixes, which, I mean, isn't looking after the community. It's just fixing the game like it should be by default. And they're saying that I'm wrong about it being abandoned, but he doesn't seem to understand what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I tried to get him in a voice chat of some kind to talk to him. He says he won't, basically, and reiterates that there was patches and stuff, and that they launched a DLC. Again, this is literally just a money grab. So, I mean, sure. Anyway, I basically respond saying, look at the Steam reviews, look at the community, you know, basically highlighting that they need to look at what the community is saying. To which he just responds about, like, adding updates to the game and saying that I'm lying. They are abandoning the game in the part of just not looking after the community. That is what's going on. The community of Naval Art, not Naval Art, Naval Action, that's a different game, Naval Art. Naval Action agrees, yeah? I don't know what this guy's problem is. Anyway, so if we actually look a bit more in depth, because we can, and we will. If you go to the forums, right? And you go to what he said, yeah? He's saying that there's patch notes, right? So we'll look at the patch notes first. Yes. He has patch notes here. Fair enough, right? But if we actually go to where you're meant to look at the Steam changes, yeah? And he's saying even if they're minor. Yeah. Well, let's have a look at what the Steam changes say. The Steam changes is literally, and I mean literally all of it, is just fucking maintenance. That's why it says open world cleaning, open world clean. And it goes on about dirt, because literally all this is just it's a bot or like some kind of server like tool or whatever, just cleaning the servers. There is nothing here to do with properly updating. There's changing number things. Obviously, I don't know exactly what it is because I don't deal with Steam, but I know for a fact that something saying clean world, open world, is not them updating the game. Yeah, that is them just cleaning the game with maintenance, which is just it's a default for a developer to do, because if you don't look after the game and keep it working by maintaining it, you're a terrible developer. Anyway, so they basically just said this, and as you can see, I'm just going through it quickly, it's all just this. It's nothing to do with like actually adding stuff. Yeah. So then basically, as well as this, right, I mentioned that Steam, not Steam, people were not happy with how like the game was going, right? And I don't want to just say that and be seen as misinforming, okay? Because they say I'm misinforming, and they can say that. But if you go to Steam, right, already it's a bit of a at least a yellow flag. You know, even possibly a red flag when you see a game has mixed reviews instead of, you know, positive, because most actually worth buying games have full positive reviews, or, you know, not full obviously, but very positive. It'll say very positive up here. I could understand if recent reviews, bad update, you know, they've made a mistake, they can fix it, but it's all as well. It's not just recent, it's all, right? So if we go down here, right? 1,423.8 hours. A person with that amount of time is not going to lie about the game, because why would they? They've obviously enjoyed the game enough to play that long, right? So if people with this amount of time are lying, then that's a bit concerning, you know? I doubt anyone with this amount of time would be lying. But if you think, oh, it's a one-off, right? We'll come down here, right? 2,989.6 hours on record, right? And this guy says there's probably problems on the game as well. Yeah? You can keep finding these if you just go down, like, looking through the reviews. Just people with thousands of hours on the game saying that there's problems with the game. And if there's people with thousands of hours, people who are dedicating that much time to the game, saying there is a problem with your game, then there's obviously a problem with your game. There's no other, like, you can't see it any other way. But they don't seem to understand that, and they don't seem to listen to their community enough, because if they listened to their community, their reviews would be better, and there wouldn't be people complaining, yeah? This is about 40% of their reviews, for both all and recent, are negative, yeah? That is a massive amount of negative views, yeah? There shouldn't be that many, negative reviews for a game that is thriving, yes? I'm not saying it's, terrible. I'm not saying it's the worst game. It's not worth, trying. But when you have that many negative reviews on a game that is shown to, like, seen as the admins as, like, completely successful and, like, really, like, happy and not abandoned at all by the admins, I mean, it's a bit concerning, isn't it? Anyway, I honestly can't be bothered to deal with the admins at this point anymore, so I'm not going to cover this anymore at the moment, at least for now, because I've gotten sick and tired of the admins. So that'll do this video. I'll maybe contact some YouTubers, see if they want to cover it as well, because it would be very useful, some bigger YouTubers, because I'm small, it covered this kind of content, because really something needs to be done. The admins need to see what they're doing and what errors they are making, so that they don't continue to do the same things over and over again. Anyway, again, that's it for this video. Thank you for looking into this, because honestly, it is worth the time to look into and make sure, you understand what the community is doing and what, like, the developers are doing, because they really need to change, and we need to make them see this. Otherwise, there's a reasonable chance that this game, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, which lots of people love, won't develop as well as we won't want it to. This game could be amazing. The community could be amazing. It could be peak, right? It could be amazing naval community. Everyone getting along, the admins talking with us, getting the game to be exactly what everyone wants. But I don't know. It's hard to say if the admins are going to behave like this. It is all on the admins. The ball is in their court. They have to do what is necessary to make this game thrive. But I don't know if they will. Anyway, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts video, which should be when the campaign releases. But if it's not, then, well, that's not going to be great if it's another one of these ranting videos. Anyway, that's it.